The Forest Friends Episode 7, The Shadow Collector's Nest.
The climb up Mount Mistpeak was the hardest thing any of them had ever done. The path grew steeper with each step, and the air grew thinner. But finally, as they reached the cloud-wrapped peak, they found what they were looking for, the Shadow Collector's nest. It was an enormous structure made of twisted branches and dark feathers, with something strange woven throughout. Shadows. They moved like dark ribbons through the nest, each one containing a piece of the forest's magic.
There,
Sparkletwig whispered, pointing with her tiny hand.
the stolen shadows.
Before they could move closer, a massive shape descended from the clouds. The Shadow Collector was even larger than they'd imagined, a giant bird with feathers that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Its eyes glowed with an ancient sadness.
Why have you come to my mountain?
Its voice resonated like thunder, but surprisingly gentle.
Have you also come to mock the one who is different? The one who cannot shine?
Tommy stepped forward, his heart pounding, but his voice steady.
No, we came to understand.
This seemed to surprise the Shadow Collector. It tilted its great head, studying the small boy.
Understand what?
Why you need all these shadows?
Tommy said.
They're not just any shadows, are they? They're all the ones that sparkle and glow and hold magic. Like you wanted to collect all the special things because you felt like you weren't special yourself?
The massive bird's eyes widened. In the nest behind it, the stolen shadows stirred restlessly.
I was born without light.
The Shadow Collector spoke softly now.
All my kind have feathers that shine like starlight, but mine...
It stretched one great wing, showing feathers that seemed to swallow the light.
I thought if I gathered enough magical shadows, I could finally glow too.
Grunt stepped forward, clutching his heart-shaped rock.
I know what it's like to feel different,
He said.
Other orcs are fierce and scary. I like making baskets and singing songs.
Grace joined them.
And I'd rather read books and study maps than play with other kids my age.
And I'm the smallest pixie in the forest.
Sparkletwig added, her light pulsing warmly. The Shadow Collector looked at each of them in turn.
But you're all friends, despite being different?
We're friends because we're different.
Tommy explained.
Our differences make us special. They make us who we are.
But look,
Grace pointed to the shadows in the nest.
every shadow you've taken has made the forest a little darker, a little less magical. Being different doesn't mean you have to be alone, but taking away what makes others special won't make you feel better.
The Shadow Collector was quiet for a long moment, looking at its collection of stolen shadows.
I never thought about it that way. I was so focused on what I didn't have. I didn't realize I was taking away what made the forest special.
Sparkletwig flew closer to the great bird, her tiny glow reflecting in its sad eyes.
Your feathers may not shine like others, but they're beautiful in their own way. They're like the night sky, mysterious and deep and full of possibilities.
And
Tommy added with a smile.
if you let the shadows go, maybe you could be the forest night guardian. Every magical place needs shadow as much as it needs light.
The Shadow Collector's eyes filled with tears that gleamed like stars.
No one has ever suggested I might have a purpose just as I am.
With a gentle movement of its massive wing, the Shadow Collector released the shadows from its nest. They swirled around like a river of starlight, flowing back down the mountain toward the forest. As the shadows returned to their rightful places, something magical happened. Wherever the Shadow Collector's tears fell, tiny flowers bloomed, flowers that glowed with a soft, moon-like light.
Night blossoms.
Grace gasped.
Grandmother said they disappeared years ago.
Perhaps
The Shadow Collector said, looking at the glowing flowers with wonder.
I needed to accept my own shadow before I could find my light.
And so, as the sun began to rise over Whispering Woods, 4 friends and a reformed shadow collector watched as magic returned to the forest. The birds began to sing again, the flowers regained their glow, and the trees once more whispered their ancient secrets. The shadow collector had found its purpose as guardian of the night forest, watching over all the creatures who preferred starlight to sunshine. And thanks to the night blossoms that now bloomed all over Mount Mistpeak, it was never truly in darkness again. Tommy looked at his friends, Brave Grace, Gentle Grunt, Sparkling Sparkle Twig, and now their new friend, the majestic shadow collector, and knew that sometimes the greatest magic of all was seeing the special light in those who thought they only cast shadows.
Time to go home?
Grace asked, pulling out her grandmother's map.
Yes,
Tommy nodded, thinking of his mother.
but not goodbye. This is just the beginning of our adventures together.
And as they made their way down the mountain, the shadow collector's cry echoed through the valley once more. But this time, it wasn't a cry of loneliness. It was a song of joy, of belonging, of finally finding one's place in the great magical tapestry of Whispering Woods.
To be continued.